ladies, T-Birds, just happen to be watchers of my shit. My name is Jimmi Pynk, and don't nobody make no money off my pussy but me.
The ashtray right there. I'm about to smoke something in this motherfucker. That's crazy. I see that. I can hear I'm still hearing it again. That's why. Hey yo, I've been pimping since been pimping. Reinvention, I'm blasphemous to a new religion.
Okay, so this is the season 1 premiere of The Deuce, and some of you guys are going to watch it much earlier than other guys because there was a special sneak preview for HBO subscribers. If you go to HBO Go or you have the app, you can, or on demand probably, you can watch it early, but the official premiere is not until September 10th. Okay, so The Deuce is a nickname for 42nd Street. This series starts in 1971. And what this is seedy, dirty, grimy New York City in the 70s. Honey, this is the bar scene, the sex industry, the start of porn as a large business. This is a little bit of everything. And I gotta tell you, when I tell you that I'm very impressed with the premiere episode. Well, first of all, let's start with the premiere episode. It's basically a mini movie because the premiere is an hour and a half long. But I'm not mad at that because it kept my attention for an hour and a half and it doesn't feel like an hour and a half. I mean, you do get to a point because you're watching a series. You do get to a point where you like, damn, is this still going on? But it's not that irritating ass, like, damn, is this still going on? Like, get to the fucking point. Like, no, it's action-packed. I will say this. The parts with the real Emily Thorne, her name is Abby on the show, but I'm probably just gonna keep calling her the real Emily Thorne because I was a huge fan of Revenge before it fucking killed off Daniel, and then I was like, I'm done with y'all, and then they brought the father back. Anyway, we ain't talking about Revenge, we talking about this. I could pass on the parts where they was telling the story about her being at NYU and like every time it was like the scenes with her until the end where she got to meet probably who our man, I'm sure it's supposed to be an ensemble cast, but this particular episode did seem like the main character was more so Vince, who is James Franco. Spoiler alert. Please do not watch this until you watch the TV show. Or maybe you need a push to watch this. I hope it does well. I hope it lasts more than this season because it's really well done. It's HBO, so of course it is. James Franco plays twins. He plays Vince and Frankie. Vince is, well, they're both Brooklyn Italian, but he's just like trying to make it. He bartends at 2 different places. He's married. He has kids. So like he's like really just like working at these bars 7 days a week, 2 different bars, just trying to take care of his family. And then that's Vince. And then Frankie is a degenerate gambler, and they keep attacking Vince because apparently these people that are collecting money, some do and some don't, but apparently nobody is telling people that this dude is a twin, so make sure you get the right one. So that's kind of close to where we start. We meet Vince first before anybody else. And we see him like making a drop for one of the bars that he works at for the take at the end of the night, and he goes to make the drop. He gets robbed. That was smart. Because at first, I bet you people didn't catch it, but I did. Because he got pistol whipped, so he had a scar on his head. And then we see James Franco later on in the show. And they're saying, like, you got a brother, but they never say twin. Like, you see him getting harassed, like, yeah, Frankie, give up the money. And he's like, my name is Vince. And they're like, what? Let me get my ID out. And they show him, they was like, okay, well, do you have a brother? But they still never said twin. They still never said twin. So then when you see James Franco again, the hair is like slicked back, but it's the 70s. Like they both got mustaches. So what made me see it and notice it was because the other brother didn't have a cut on his head. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute, where'd the cut go? But he is twins. And towards the end of the series, they show him acting against each other, which I have to tell y'all, I think James Franco might get the slow clap of the episode, because when he was playing against himself as twin brothers, like, that shit was so realistic that, like, I legit forgot that James Franco was playing two parts. Like, he did such a great job. Speaking of, how y'all like my 70s disco look? I think I did. I think I fucking nailed that shit. I don't know if I got it in me to do it for 8 episodes. You know, sometimes episodes is gonna fall when I'm at the hellhole with the different background. But I think I nailed it. What y'all think? I think I did pretty good with my 70s disco look, yeah? Anyway, back to the show. Very early on after we meet Vince, we see 2 pimps, which one of them is Black Thought. Like, listen, me and old boy was watching it together. I watched it again so I can take notes for the review. And both of us said it at the same time. We looked at each other like, is that Black Thought? Yes. Black Thought plays a pimp on here. So we meet Reggie Love and Cece, which Cece is probably going to be one of the bigger characters. You know, when you have ensemble cast and you have these type of shows, you have like your mains, which might be about 5 or 6 people, and then you have other characters that fill out the world, but they might not be in every episode, or they may not have big scenes. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of Reggie Love, on top of the fact that I don't even know how you would, because Tariq got to be mad busy with everything else that he does. But and Cece. So Cece, and they're at the Port Authority. These dudes is literally sitting in the bus station waiting for the small town girl living in a lonely world, taking the midnight train, going anywhere, and waiting to pick this bitch up in New York City and turn her out. Straight off the boat. Like, straight off the bus. Like, they are sitting in Port Authority to pick up hookers. So, Cece sees this brunette, and he like, all right, let's go. And they kind of got like this unspoken rule that you get 2 white ones and a black one, which if you look in the show, like, a lot of them do have that. Or it may be a slight variation. One might be Hispanic or something like that, but for the most part, they all got 2 white girls and a black girl. But anyway, he walks up to her, and he's trying to, you know, he putting on the airs. He like, I'm about to turn her out. That's the one I need right there. Her name is Lori. So she playing it real good. Like, she all the way, like, she slow and stupid, and yeah, I'm from Minnesota. And she gets him in the car, and he got a rack of clothes. Like, I'm gonna let you do this. Like, he basically, this is how they turn him out. And she turned around and light that cigarette. Like, shit, see, I'm from Minnesota. I wouldn't wear none of this shit. And he like, oh, so I guess I ain't even gotta do no more the sales pitch. She like, take me to breakfast. The girl's already a hooker. She just coming to New York to make more money as a hooker. Okay. Who else do we meet? Yeah, we got the college thing with Abby. Hold that thought for a second, honey. It's seedy, it's grimy, it's gonna be some smokes and some drinks and some drugs. I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, yeah, she in class and her professor like loses concentration. Like, I'm just gonna say right now, I'm gonna skip a lot of the part with Abby, because clearly she's going to be one of our, like I said, you're going to always have like this core group of the mains, about 5 or 6 characters. She's clearly one of the mains. But this episode, I'm cool. Okay? Like, it's very uninteresting. Long story short, she fucking her professor. That's her introduction. What did it say, folks giving BJs? Oh, so let's go back to Cece and Lori, because I got the feeling Cece and Lori's story is going to be the one that I'm like digging the most, because he's giving her the speech, even though, you know, he didn't have to do the whole turn her out part of the speech. He is talking to her, and he like, soon as I seen you, I knew it was something. We gonna be together. Well, you look across the bar, or look across the restaurant, because all the pimps and hoes all go to breakfast at the same time, and I guess this is where they all settle up their money yada, yada, yada. This is the end of the night, and all the pimps and the players is all in this restaurant. And you see blonde lady, clearly older. You know, she's not young. She's clearly a little bit older. And she looking a little shook. She looking shook at the house down boots. And Cece goes over there and we find out. I still never caught what her name was. But she's the bottom bitch. And she sees this new pretty white woman and she like, hold on, motherfucker. And he trying to tell her, baby, you know you the bottom. Like, come on. You know, this business. You know we got to get new girls. Like, come on. Don't play that game. And he tells her, I tell you what, after work tonight, I'm going to give you a bath and I'm going to fuck you so good. Time out. Time out. I need a Zach Morris timeout. If your job is fucking people, is it a reward to get fucked good? I mean, I'm just saying. This is how I used to explain. So I had an ex-boyfriend that was extremely clingy. And I used to work in a call center. And you had to walk to the parking deck. It might take me about 5 minutes. I lived about 5 minutes away from the job. This nigga couldn't even give me 10 minutes. When I got off at 6 o'clock, my phone was ringing at 6:01. And I'm like, dude, I just talked on the phone for 8 hours. That's not the first thing I want to do when I get off to talk on the phone. So I can't see for a hooker that's like, yeah, you gonna work and fuck all night, and then you gonna come home and fuck me. That's a surprise. But, or I guess that's because them women's mind is so broke. Okay, time back in. So then we meet Rodney and Candy. Rodney is Method Man. So I'm living for the quality of acting. First of all, I've seen the chick that played the original Emily Thorne in Adventureland and a couple other things. She's actually really good. But James Franco is a beast. We now are introduced to Candy, who is Maggie Gyllenhaal. And obviously the biggest names on the show are James Franco and Maggie Gyllenhaal. Those are going to be our big main characters. Like I said, it's going to be about 5 or 6, but those are going to be our two mains. And Rodney is a pimp. And he's trying to, get Candy to choose. Well, if you also watch the beginning of this episode, Candy tells him, don't nobody make money off my pussy but me. Candy is independent. Candy does not have Pimp. Candy works on her own. Candy is just Candy. She don't need no Pimp. And she works on her own. Okay. Let me see. We already said, okay. So that was real quick. This is just when we meet Candy. This is, we're going to get more into Candy's story later, but this is just how we're introduced to Candy. We obviously know that she's independent and she doesn't have a pimp. Then we move on to Vince getting shook down. He is now basically trying to save his brother by saying, listen. And I think the guy that was actually trying to shake him down was kind of doing that too. Like, listen, your brother owes so much money. Not only is they going to kill him, you look just like him. They may accidentally kill you. They may kill you on purpose to get to him. Somebody's going to have to start paying these debts. So Vince is trying to make a deal like, hey, this is how much he owes. I can give you $1,000 a week. Let me try to work something out. But I'll get him square. I'll get him square. Because at the end of the day, it is his brother. And it's his twin brother at that. And I've heard the twins are like the closest out of all. But he's trying to do that. So then we meet Darlene. I apologize. We met Darlene very early in the show in passing. When we first meet Vince, like when Vince gets robbed, he has to go to a different bar than the one that he was doing the drop for. He got robbed, to tell him, can you get somebody else to do the order in the morning because I got robbed, I'm still bleeding, like my head is cracked open. And we find out that boss is a fucking dick. He ends up quitting with him, but we ain't gonna get too far into that. But we see Darlene, hey Vince, hey Darlene. We see Darlene as a hooker. Darlene is a young black girl. Well, we see Darlene, what looks like she's going home, and this fat white Ron Jeremy looking motherfucker. It might have been Ron Jeremy, but I watched it twice and I didn't notice if it was Ron Jeremy or not, but it could have been Ron Jeremy. This big fat Ron Jeremy looking motherfucker walks past the door, and we think initially the way they do it, it looks like she's getting attacked and about to get raped. But lo and behold, a little bit later, we see that no, that's her client and that's what he requests. Some sick motherfuckers and some shit the hookers got to go through to make money. Like, you know, they're sitting there in the room together, and she like, man, I think you swelled my face up this time, and my wrist hurt. Like, you know, my man, who her pimp is Larry Brown, he not going to be too happy about this, and she gives him an extra $20, and that's a regular or whatever. They did mention that earlier in the breakfast scene, so that was the foreshadowing, but we thought she was getting raped, but she wasn't. That was her client's fantasy to pretend like he raping somebody. That's fucked up. And hit her for real, talking about some, ooh, but you really got me going, so that mean that turned him on. I foresee later on in the episode her actually getting raped by him and Larry Brown actually doing something to him. But anyway, so Vince's wife. So we've seen already in the episode that Vince's wife is kind of, I don't want to say she kind of ain't shit. I'll say their marriage just really ain't that good. As I said, he works 7 days out the week at 2 different bars, which means he is gone all night. She at home all day with the kids. So we seen earlier in the episode, he comes in and his mother-in-law is there watching the kids. But he comes another night and the mother-in-law is watching the kids. And he like, listen, I know this bitch is out motherfucking kicking it. Where is she at? I know you know where your daughter is at. Because he ends up quitting his job because he said, I promised my wife I was taking her to work. And the fucked up one, the one that made him come in after he got robbed, was like, no, that was last week. You can't have it now. The bar is busy. I need you behind the bar. So he walks out. So he goes to get the wife. The wife is fucked up. The wife is playing pool with some dudes. She done took her skirt off. All she got on is some tights and her blouse. Because she fucked up talking about some, oh, I can't play with my skirt. It's too tight. And the dudes kind of blow down on Vince. Like, I'm not done playing the game. And the lady said she wasn't done with the drink. And he like, this is my wife. But this is what we're seeing, like how seedy and fucked up New York is at this time. Because usually somebody will be like, oh, my bad, dude. Like, that's your wife. My bad. Might even say something smart. But this dude really ran him out the bar. Like, he left his wife at the bar with the dudes. With no fucking skirt on. The fuck? But anyway, at that moment he realizes, and we don't know this at the time that their marriage is that fucked up. But obviously this has been going on for a very long time. So he packs up his shit and he moves, and now he's moving basically to the hotel where the fucking junkies and the hookers handle their business, and he goes and moves in there. I gotta talk about this. I gotta do another Zach Morris timeout. Okay, so we have this hooker that's one of Method Man's hookers. And her name is Thunder Thighs. Which is fine. Embrace your big girl status. I embrace mine. It's all good. But why does she got on these little ass red shorts that don't even fit that she got on the same shorts I done seen this woman on the episode on 2 that she was supposed to be out hooking 2 different days with the same shorts on with her white panties hanging all out the goddamn red panties and all out the red shorts. Like she's just a fucking mess. And I'm like, why you gotta be a big girl hooker in a mess? Why you gotta be a mess though? I felt the way about that. Like, okay, you a big girl, Thunder Thighs, and you a hooker too. Why you gotta be a mess? She the raggediest hooker out there. She is literally the raggediest hooker, and we see a lot of hookers, cause that's what the show is about. Is a lot about like the sex. It's a lot of hookers. She the raggediest one, and I feel a way about that. Like, so what? She big. Why she got to be ratchet with fucking her white panties hanging out of her shorts and shit? And her gut all hanging out. Like, and her hair ain't even cute. Like, at least the other, well, shit, none of the black girls' hair is cute. But at least the one young Darlene got some weave or a wig or something. She just, I feel away. Time back in. Okay, so I said that Vince moves to the hotel. All right, so the college girl. Her friends want to go buy some speed. They go to Hell's Kitchen to buy some speed. She gets busted. And it looked like she about to get in trouble. But I think the reason why they were showing us stuff about her fucking the professor and stuff is that she's a manipulator. Okay? I think that's what we're supposed to see. She's a manipulator. So, this cop, right? She said, well, I got to take you down to the station. And we did meet this black cop earlier. I don't remember his name. I'm sure he's going to be a side character we see multiple times. I don't know if he's going to be one of the main core 6. But it seemed like he know all the pimps and stuff. So they must like all grew up together. But he just ended up being a cop. And he's still like cool with the pimps and stuff. Because they all grew up together. But he a cop. Well, he ends up sitting down with the girl. He's telling the girl like, oh, you going to be all right. So obviously this cop does this shit. Like sees a pretty girl. Fucking arrest her, goes and changes his clothes and then say, oh, I'll take you home. Oh, we're going to stop and have a drink. And usually, he probably getting pussy like that because it's probably, you know, we are talking about the 70s. And we still live in that type of culture. Whereas women is probably like giving him pussy like, oh, he's insinuating I did get busted. Like maybe he might actually send me to jail if I don't fuck him. But this girl doesn't fall for it. In fact, she's feeling Vince. But Vince is already fucking his bartender. And the bartender is looking like, you just gonna flirt with this bitch right in front of my face? Even though, let's take out the fact that he married. By the way, him and his wife have a sit down after he moves out. Apparently, the wife's dad is mafia. Because he like, you could have been made by now, or you could have at least been in a crew, and you decide you want to be a barman and this and this and this. And he like, well, that ain't really what life I wanted. So there's that, but he ends up, him and the wife are done. So finally, she's kicking it with Vince. She goes back to college. She's supposed to be going to go take this test. She walk in the room, or she opened the door. Everybody look up at her. She closes the door, walks away, and then she starts smiling. So I don't know if that's the class that she had with the teacher that she fucking. So she just like, yeah, well, somebody could say they seen me. So it ain't a surprise when I say it got an A, but I didn't even take the test because I don't understand how you just look and then you walk away and you smile and you never even went in to take the test. So there's that. Plus, I think it's a correlation because manipulation and pimping and hoeing is a big theme of the show. Matter of fact, I skipped the part where after Vince quit the other job, he works for this Korean restaurant. And the Korean man is like, man, I'm not getting no business. And he telling them like, well, you kick the street people out at 11 o'clock and that's who got the money. That's who making the money. Well, he comes up with this idea. He walks past a dance shop and he puts all the bartenders in leotards, tights, and high heels. And it turned that bitch out. So, again, we're just looking at a lot of pimping and hoeing in different aspects and variations. Okay. But yeah, I want to talk about Candy. Candy's real name is Eileen. Okay. I don't even want another one of these, but shit. And we find out that she has a son. And she's hoeing basically to take care of her son. Because she gives her mother money. But the message said, well, your dad's on a business trip. So obviously something happened between her and her dad that they don't get along. And it could be because she got pregnant with the son. I don't know. Could be because he sexually assaulted her. I don't know. We'll find out. But they make a mention of that. Talking about some Larry Brown girls got daddy issues. And Lori is like, don't we all? Another time out. I know I'm skipping around a little bit. Lori is like, shit, I need pimping or else I get lazy. Like, this is the mentality of these women. Like, it's fucked up. But very interesting. So, at the end, it ties some things together. Because so far, oddly enough, in an hour and a half about a series that has a lot to do about pimping and hoeing, we ain't really seen these pimps really treat these hoes bad. None of them. None of them have treated these women bad. It's they're really sweet talking to them. You know, they're at the restaurant and Larry Brown is like, you know what, y'all doing such a good job. This is what we need to do. We going out for a nice dinner after this. He seems genuinely concerned when Darlene says my regular hit me in the face. He's very concerned. He like, no, fuck that. You tell that motherfucker he do this shit again. I'm coming for him. He was waiting for Darlene at the end too. Darlene was watching a movie. I think Darlene is gonna be one of our main 5 or 6 too. And Darlene is watching a movie, and the guy just wanted to watch a movie with her, and he's running, but he stood out there for her all night, and we really haven't seen him treated bad yet. Well, then we get to where it gets dirty at the very end. So we see Bottom Bitch. Until I know her name, we just gonna call her Bottom Bitch because she's the only one that we know is a bottom. This is CeCe's bottom. So we see Bottom Bitch. And it's raining. Bottom Bitch is like, hey, she goes in the bar where CeCe is at. And because she's Bottom Bitch, which is basically the girlfriend, she like, baby, it's raining outside, this and this and this. I don't want to work tonight. So he like, okay, baby, well, you know what? Let's go somewhere quiet and dry and we can talk about this. Well, in the meantime, Vince is fucking his redhead barmaid. And you hear a woman screaming. And the girl is like, oh my God, Vince, go. Well, she don't know Vince is a motherfucking punk. So Vince goes, and Vince just goes to the end. And when we see it, CeCe got the girl's arms up like this, and we see he got a switchblade, and it's a slice right down her motherfucking arm. Under her arm. Because, you know, a pimp can't cut you nowhere that ain't gonna make you money. Don't nobody give a fuck if you got a cut under your underarm. That ain't got shit to do with your body. So, and he's basically now threatening her like, I don't give a fuck. If it's raining, it's cold, sick, stuffy, congested, you go out there, you work, you get my motherfucking money. Next time it's gonna be your face, you won't make shit else. And James Franco is basically just watching all of this because, again, James Franco is a punk. Sorry, I can't say James Franco because it's 2 James Francos. Vince. And he's going to go back in the room with the girl, I guess, to make it look like he actually did something. And CeCe just walked past him and was like, what's up, Vince? Like, it's business as usual. Now, mind you, this is the bottom bitch. So this is supposed to be the one that he actually care about and love, which, let's keep it 100, don't know pimp, love no hoe. But she the bottom. She like the main one. So if he'll do that to her, you know, it is that. But I will say, as far as pimps and hoes go, the bottom bitch is lazy. We've seen it the whole time. She lazy. She lazy. I don't want to work tonight. After like they settle up and him and Lori get together. Oh. I made just as much as she did. Can we be done? I'm tired. That doesn't really work. In a pimp hoe relationship, you don't get to say when you tired and you don't get to say when you don't work. And she looked kind of old, so she should know better than that. But anyway, that's how the series ends. So that's a nice little, you know, it looked almost glorified. Not really. It looked realistic, but what I'm saying is we had never seen, you know, we thought we were seeing violence. Like, we thought the girl was unsafe because she was getting raped. We thought, you know, something was probably going to happen to Candy because Candy ain't got no pimp. And here it's the one that was the one that secured us, the bottom, that got hurt, and they saved it all the way for the end. So now we do know these pimps mean fucking business. This is pimping. This is real pimping. This is gorilla pimping. And that's how we end the hour and a half preview. I have to say, I did not really see a weak link as far as acting in the entire episode, which is good. But then again, like I said, it's HBO. HBO, I got to keep it 100. It ain't too many shows I've seen. Even if it was a show I didn't like, it may have just been I didn't like it because I didn't like the subject of it or it didn't interest me. But HBO pretty much knocks it out the park. And this is definitely something when you got somebody, when you got Oscar nominees, and Maggie Gyllenhaal actually win. I know she was nominated. She might actually win. When you got Oscar nominees in your shit, that is prestige TV. They looking to get Emmys off this shit. They gonna get some. They gonna get some. They are going to get some. Obviously, they're pushing this because, like I said, the premiere was not... The original premiere of the series was supposed to be September 30th. They moved it up to September 10th, and then they decided to drop the preview for the HBO Go and on-demand subscribers like 2 weeks early. Like, they trying to get that buzz. They trying to get that buzz going, and I gotta tell y'all, this is a long-ass video, but we had to cover an hour and a half. Y'all, watch the Deuce. It's only going to be 8 episodes. It's on Sunday. I know it's football season, but we ain't got claws. We ain't got... Shit, what else is coming on fucking Sunday right now? Feud ain't on. So this is the Sunday show, darling. So get into it. Get into it. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for rocking with me, for watching. To my patrons, thank you very, very much. I love y'all as always. If you are not a patron, you can become one by clicking on the P. And if you are not a Pink Lady or a T-Bird or subscribe to my channel, you can click on Sailor Jimmi and watch another video. Thank you as always. Love y'all to death. Deuces.